This is multiplying fractions and mixed numbers level 3. Multiplying fractions is really easy. It's the simplest operation with fractions, and that's why in this case level 3 is just going to be showing you how to do the problems, how to actually solve them. Level 4 is going to be more word problems with learning how to set them up and to solve them. Okay, so we're only really going to have one video on multiplying fractions. Might have a second one, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, here's the process for it. It's really easy. First, so when we do adding and subtracting, what makes it more difficult than multiplying is the fact that we need a common denominator. Here, with multiplying, you don't need a common denominator. You just multiply top times top and bottom times bottom. It's as simple as that. So that's the rule. Top by top over bottom by bottom. Now there's a little trick involved which I'll show you, which can help you, and I'll show it in a few minutes. But in this case here, if you look at this one, the top is going to be 1 times 2. The bottom is going to be 7 times 5. So 1/7 multiplied by 2/5 is going to be 2/35. Okay, and you should always check, can I simplify 2/35? No, because there's nothing that divides into both, so that's your answer. Here's how a little trick comes into play. And this little trick, right, you don't necessarily need to do it, but it helps, and I'll show you why. When you do fractions, you always need to be able to simplify your answer. So if you just do top by top and bottom by bottom here directly, you're going to get 2 times 3, which is 6, over 9 times 10, which equals 90. Okay, so it's 6 over 90. Now if you want to simplify that, well, you're going to have to find a number that divides into top and bottom and so on. Well, the way it'll work out, it will work out to be 1 over 15. Now I happen to know that, but I know some students will struggle to simplify 6 over 90. Here's a way to avoid that problem. You can do, if you lay it down like this, so 2 over 9 times 3 over 10. What you do is, you look at the numbers that are diagonal to each other. Okay, so just hold on for 1 second so I can kind of highlight this in some way. I'll do it in blue. Look at the numbers that are diagonal, 2 and 10, right? So, is there a number that divides into 2 and divides into 10? Yeah, 2. 2 divides into both. So if you divide 2 into 2, you're going to get 1. And if you divide 2 into 10, you're going to get 5. Alright? Now look at the other diagonal, you have 9 and 3. Is there a number that divides into 9 and divides into 3? Yes, 3. So, you divide 3 into 3, you get 1. You divide 3 into 9, you get 3. So what this is the same as 1 over 3, okay, 1 over 3, multiplied by 1 over 5. Okay, and now you just multiply like normal. 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 5 is 15, and that's it. Okay? So you see we got the same answer as above, but we didn't have to simplify. I think that method is easier. I know that some people might struggle with it and might prefer trying to reduce it. That's fine. I just think this is simpler. Here we have one where we have a whole number times a fraction. This is very simple again. There's no need to make a big deal out of it. So we have 6 times 5/12. Well, if you have a whole number and you don't know how to multiply it by the fraction, just think about turning the whole number into a fraction. Okay, 6 is the same as 6 over 1. I'm going to put that in red actually. So this can be written as 6 over 1. Okay, simple. Now, so instead of 6 times 5 over 12, we have 6 over 1 times 5 over 12. Now look at the diagonals. So we have 1 and 5 in diagonal positions. There's no number that divides into both of those. 6 and 12. Well, 6 divides into 6 one time. 6 divides into 12 twice. Okay? So instead of where we had 6, we now have 1, and where we had 12, we now have 2. So now do top times top. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 over 2, and we convert that into a mixed number for our answer. That's 2.5. Okay? That's how it works. Pretty straightforward, I think. And the last one. two mixed numbers. How do we do mixed numbers? Well, for mixed numbers it's pretty easy, to be honest. What you have to do, first of all, just change the two of them into improper fractions. Okay? And multiply. You don't need to worry about common denominators of multiplication. That's the beauty of it. So 5.5, we do the, I'll write it down over here so we can go through the process. So it's 5.5 times 2 3/4. We're going to convert the two of them into improper fractions. So we do this thing. Okay, remember? So what do we get? 2 times 5 is 10 plus 1 is 11. So it's 11 over 2. And for this one here, we do 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11 over 4. Alright? So, look at the diagonals. 11 and 4, there's nothing that we can simplify there with. 2 and 11, there's nothing we can simplify there with. So we just have to go ahead and multiply. 11 times 11 is 121. 2 times 4 is 8. So it's 121 over 8. So now we need to turn that into a mixed number, so we do it by division. Okay, so we're going to do 8 into 121. So, I'll continue this in red. 8 goes into 12 once. 1 times 8 is 8. Subtract 12 minus 8 is 4. Bring down the 1, 41. 8 goes into 41 5 times. We get our 40. We subtract, we get a 1. 8 doesn't go into 1. So our answer is 15. And remember that we put the remainder over the divisor. 15 and 1/8 is the answer. And if you look back, 5.5 and 2 3/4. So you're thinking of a number that's around 5 multiplied by a number that's around 3. So you're thinking it's going to be around 15 or a little bit more. 15 and 1/8. You got it. Okay? So that's our video on multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. I think it's pretty easy, but I'm going to call groups up to check in with me anyway. And the next one will be some word problems.